that stuff. I'm just here.
Okay, you're here. All right. We're going to talk about how it changes within different generations of where it stemmed from. And of course, you know, we didn't left our Black History Month. You know, February is the first to come in quick and leave out really fast. So, but we still want to celebrate it as it's the last day of Black History Month today. So hopefully y'all are watching. Definitely check us out. Tune in right now at WPB Media Networks. We are on there streaming. If you're on Facebook, check us out there as well. And again, come down. If you're in the area, join us. They got great drinks. They have great food.
Food, definitely great food, definitely great drinks, and probably some fireworks up in here because I know that this topic touches people, and some people just can't simply handle the truth.
We're going to find out who can't simply handle the truth. I can't wait to actually hear your take in depth on how you feel about this. Just throwing it out there real quick. Have you ever been in an interracial relationship with anyone?
Not to that point, because the simple fact, there's the family factor. So sometimes it was a secret relationship.
Okay. I need to come out the light with that. Okay. Secret. Wow. Secret love.
Yeah. And I understand secrets keep you sick. So,
yep.
Yeah.
That's where them skeletons stay in the closet.
I might have been sick for a while, but I'm back.
You back?
Yeah.
What? Wow, he took a journey, everybody. So listen, we're here live again at Terra Cafe. If you're in the area, come on down, join us for the Thunderous Altercation for today, interracial relationships. We'd love to have you in the crowd with your take, and maybe you'll be able to participate. Who knows? But hey, it's Rene.
AKA the Big Revenge.
And we will be back after these messages.
Thunderous Altercations. And the first talking point that we're going to discuss is the acceptance of interracial relationships. Why is it accepted for Black women and white men relationships? My take on it is because the Black woman is probably, when you think about all ethnic groups and genders, she's probably the most loyal to her ethnic group. So when she does step out, and it'll probably take her a lot to step out to be involved with an interracial relationship, I think people kind of in a state of shock, like, whoa, she's dealing with a Caucasian or a white man, and also with white men, that's probably really not their angle that they really want to attack, but they may do it, but I think it may not be with the Black woman at first. You know, they might like by the Hispanic, Asians, because Asian women, it's all about numbers. And I think that's what people do, like the pool sample of who you can deal with at that time, what's available. But when you think about certain genders and their ethnic group, a lot plays into effect their availability. So what do you think about that?
Rene. Rene says, when it comes to the acceptance of a Black woman with a white man, there's been stereotypes that have been built against this case. One is that they'll say a Black woman will be with a white man because it helps her to build. It will reshape her finances. It will rebuild her credit. It's going to give her some sense of a security. And security more so within the finance, not more so of the, like, I got your back, like, you know, and the protection of. But on the flip side, there's also another stereotype is that Black women are sick of Black men. And that's why they're stepping out to deal with more white men. And we've seen everything being thrown in our face. When you look at different TV reality shows, and then you see these mixed race couples on the TV reality show, and then you see how they're living, and then it brings maybe sometimes a fantasy or an illusion of what it is you're trying to create, and then maybe if I do step out from my culture and my race and go somewhere else, then it'll be better for me and I can live the life that I want to live. But I technically don't think that it has or shouldn't really have a lot to do with what color anybody is. It's just based on if you like that person, then they like you. But also, again, there's not a large percentage when it comes to a lot of black women dealing with white men. It's not high. But again, a lot of people will think that it is, and that's just because of the fact of what we're seeing in our face on a visual every single day. And you go into different commercials, especially the commercials, and to an extent, they're still trying to put us in as to advertise the product, but it's not a full black person either. It's always to, like, if they have an interracial couple on television, it's usually that they have the black woman that has the pretty curly crinkly hair. It's never anything straight. It's never really in a natural look. And then she has this Caucasian husband, and then they have these kids that are just beautiful. And that's another thing, is that where it comes to race and mixing races, with a black woman who has an insecurity about herself and she has no children. And now she wants to have children. And she's going to be looking for a certain type. I want my kids to be pretty. I want them to look a certain way. And so then she steps out of her race to build that picture. Because that's what we've been taught in America, that categorizes into beautiful. And not to just say you can't, that she doesn't want to keep her bloodline pure to the point that if she has children that are dark or they have coarse hair, and it's not to be categorized that they see it to be beautiful, then what? You're going to have a problem now. So now you want to change and within your race. But I don't honestly see that there's an issue. To each his own, if that's where you want to go.
You just brought up a good point and made me think about something. You know, it's been times that I was out in the dating game, and I remember someone telling me that if she had a child, she wanted kind of like a mocha child or a child with good hair. Basically saying, I don't make it. I don't cut her threshold as far as that. So when you start thinking about stuff like that, people, when you start looking at images and start thinking like, okay, I want my partner to be a little lighter. I want my child to be like this. This is where society is screwed at. That you should be happy if your child is healthy.
Right.
And beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, basically.
Supposed to be.
Supposedly, but...
Just like we can go back to the flip side to say that we're all supposed to be just one race. We're all supposed to just be the human race. Yeah, technically that's true. But at the end of the day, when we go home, we do again separate ourselves because we are still separated. Even though within our civil rights leaders from the past who have been fighting for integration, we still, and we will not ever successfully make that happen. For one thing, even within our culture, we have a problem of commitment. We don't even hold strong to keeping within, standing strong for our beliefs. It comes to, I'm going to have to put it back on the table, Kaepernick, standing for. People, again, in other races don't understand what the whole point of that was for the kneel. Oh, it's that song. No, it's not about the song. It's about the police brutality. It's about sticking up for something. And then everyone got on the bandwagon, was like, I support him. I'm not going to watch the game. And then they closeting, sneak peeking on the tablet, on the phone. Well, I'm just going, well, he's doing good now. So he's gotten better. So then it's just an inch and an inch back to it. But to be honest, when it goes back to black women dating Caucasian men, our strong power to the people, believing in our culture, staying strong sisters don't appreciate that look because of the fight from in the civil rights era. And supposed to support our black kings where he continues to live within, or his black queen. Okay.
I am so tired of this misuse of kings and queens. And not everybody is a king or queen. Some titles you have to earn. And I get so sick of people coming on social media, good morning kings and queens. Who are you talking to? Like 2 or 3 people? Just call out their name. You have to put in work to be a king or queen. And that's just the bottom line. It's not no Urban Dictionary term that you call somebody. What's up king? What's up queen? No, you have to earn it. So that irritates me. Call me issue boy or whatever the case is, but that bothers me. But everybody's a king.
I'm about to bother you again.
Okay.
I am a queen. I'm strong. I'm raising a little king. I am going to make sure that he has strength, that he knows loyalty, that he will stay true to himself. I'm a queen every day. And whether I have somebody to basically offset that, to show me that I've earned that right, oh, I have earned that right.
So would it be okay for him to date somebody white when you get older?
If listen.
Say the question again.
Listen, would it be okay for my son to date somebody white when he gets older? I honestly would have to accept it because I have to love my child unconditionally for whomever he chooses to be with, whatever color she chooses to be. And he might not even decide to be with females. And I'll still have to love him unconditionally, no matter what. I am his #1 fan, his #1 supporter. But I'm just going to move away from the irritation because I sparked the spark plug with what I said with king and queen. So let's move forward. The second part. Why is it not acceptable for the black man to be with the white woman?
Me, I think, and even the feedback that I got this week, that many black women think that when men step out there, it's for like shallow reasons, that they want someone that's weak, that will listen to them. It's almost like someone that would travel the path of least resistance, so that, the stereotypes that black women, could be bossy, talk too much, loud, and when you're with this white woman, you just come in, she serves you, she doesn't give you a hard time, you probably have the remote control right there by you, your beer or whatever, and life is good.
Amen.
Life is good. So most men say, that's what I need, depending on their job situation. If they got a stressful job, they surely don't want to, when they put the key in the keyhole, come in and you hear all this riff-raff. Riff-raff. Oh, some of it was riff-raff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, riff-raff. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's riff-raff.
I mean, and men get riff-raff too because you're whiners. So that's a lot of riff-raff, especially over just minor things that you should be able to be strong enough to deal with yourself. But that's a whole different topic. But when it comes back to this, do you think that the black woman has a lot of riff-raff and a lot of nagging issues and just too coarse and too hard?
I think this.
Not serving enough?
No, I think that is established from dating, when you put stuff out there and you talk about things that you like. People that get it say, I know this is what he likes, this is what works for him, so I'm going to work with it as long as he works with me. But when you don't do that, then when you jump right into something, I think some black men be in a state of shock and they don't handle it well. So I think it's all about what you put in the early stages that can kind of dictate how the relationship will go. If you don't say anything, you don't communicate much, then you may be surprised on the results that you get.
I mean, I hear that, but on the flip side to this, when it comes to black women and black men being together, there are things that they don't appreciate that we do. Such as we hold it down, for one, especially in the home. We are the backbone to you. And we make sure that things are working. We make sure that the budget is together. We make sure that there's food in the house. We make sure that it's prepared. We make sure that it's stuff that's clean to wear. We make sure that the kids are good. And there's a lot of things that are dealt with what certain black men do not deal with, which is more what black women deal with. They're a doctor, they're a therapist, they have to create, they have to solve problems, they have to hold it together. They can't also show any sort of weakness because of the fact that she still has to be strong. And for black men in the ancestors of time, is in the blood to be a little aggressive, to be a little bit unsure at times. But knowing that when you have somebody that's with you and backing you up, and understanding where we come from and why we have aggression and how we deal with that, and you take someone who's not a part of the culture or who don't understand it, and then they get a little frightened because of the fact that your voice got a little too loud because of the fact of other riffraff that's going on in your life, but you're still going to deal with that because of the fact of submission, because she's a server, and we've been serving from day one to the wrong people.
So I can give you that.
You got to give me that, because that's facts and that's history. Like I told you, we wasn't going to leave Black history alone just because it ended the other day. We'll leave it after today. We'll leave it there.
Well,
but on the same token again, black men who are very picky, because again, people have a right to have their preference, but there's some that are picky. Why you cut your hair? Because I wanted to regain the strength of it. So I decided to go natural.
So you don't think you should discuss that with him?
No, I don't. No, I really don't. I don't think I should.
What's the problem with say, baby, I'm thinking about cutting my hair. What do you think? And he said, no, I like you with the longer hair or whatever the case is.
Okay, but the longer hair makes me too hot. And when I get my hair done, it's sweating out in the back, and so then it starts to crinkle up, and then my style, it doesn't last. So I need to do something that's going to bring the comfort for me.
So when a man says, well, I want to grow my beard out, you know, I want to be like Samson or whatever, the sprinkles are like in my hair or whatever the case is, and you go into the barber and you come back and women like, why you still got that? I thought you was getting it trimmed down or whatever the case is.
But it's still a compromise. It's still letting you be who you are. That doesn't have anything to do with our relationship because I cut my hair. You wanted me to look a certain way, you see?
Well, if you have long hair, then you cut
I'm
it short.
still
I think
me.
it should be a conversation.
I'm still me
I
though.
think it should be a
But at the end of the
conversation.
day, okay, so I gave you the conversation. Now can I cut it?
I prefer you not to.
Okay, all right. Okay, you prefer me not to, but again, I have to be comfortable and I have to sleep and I have to basically, again, do this for me.
Okay. All right.
All right. So you're going to be mad now for a week?
No, I'm not going to be mad.
I didn't think you should. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. Again, we are here live at Terra Cafe. It's Thunderous Altercations, and we'll be back.
Between the sheets.
Hey, we're back. It is Thunderous Altercations live here at Terra Cafe at 101 East 25th Street. Come down, join the discussion that we are having right now. We are just getting it all warmed up. Again, we're talking about interracial relationships, and before we went on the break, we were talking about the difference between as far as with black women dating white men and vice versa, as far as a black man dating a white woman, and one being more accepted than the other. But back to the percentages again, it's not that it's really a lot of black women out here dating a lot of white men. I think it's a very small percentage, more than a lot of people think. Honestly, I think a lot of people think that it's really over like a 50% mark, and it really isn't. It's just, again, it's the what's being advertised and what we see every day when we're watching TV, we're seeing these movies, we're looking at the news, and it's what's being exploited at a point. Again, me to say, your preference is your preference. Everybody has a preference. Everybody has a right to have a preference of who you choose to be with, what type of look you're looking for. But at the end of the day, it is based on, you know, again, opinions. So I was asked, you have a son. Would you mind if your son dated as far as a white girl?
Becky with the good hair.
I mean, it's a hard thing. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you think about it. You obviously, because people get it twisted. Most people date within their own culture. So obviously, we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to talk to them about it. And I think whatever makes him happy, of course, I might try to influence him a certain way, because that's what parents are supposed to do. But I think as he gets older and he starts making his own choices, and if he's able to talk to me, because that's one key thing. A lot of children say they can't talk to their parents.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to have a discussion, and I'll be able to say, well, and kind of warrant these are some of the things you need to look for, and kind of school him. But at the end of the day, if that's the route he went, what can I do? Nothing. You can't really do much at all.
You're right.
But sit back there, either you accept it, or you want to have a severed relationship with your child, and they don't deal with you or don't contact you. Who wants that? We need to be together. We need as much family as possible. So I guess I would just have to maybe pout and carry on.
You gonna pout? Well, speaking as far as influencing him and schooling him within, of course, history as to what we know and what has happened, I'm sure you have your mother who has been within, she in the baby boomer generation or maybe before. My grandmother is 102 years old, okay? I don't know what generation that was, but 102. She's seen a lot. She's experienced a lot. And my father is a part of the baby boomers. He's 1950. And when it trickles down and it goes back to our family and our history within our culture, we were schooled at home. We were given a different history lesson as opposed to what we were taught in school. We were given false knowledge, information, and having people taking a lot of credit for a lot of the things that we have done as a culture, as for Black people. And from back in the day, from those 50s and the segregation eras, and of course whites can only do certain things at this location and Black can only do certain things at this location. It didn't do anything but piss our parents off as being treated as such, and then vowing to say that if I ever have kids, they will never experience this, and I won't let them experience this because I won't allow them to be a token in anybody's household, to be made fun of, to be sitting in the midst of, and to be looked at because of the color of their skin. So with my father, I know that man prefers me to not date anybody out of my race, period. He say they okay to talk to, but to be a part of their home and their family, it will be like you are on display. And do not ever be on display for anybody. I'm not going to accept it. You don't understand the pain, the struggle, to be able to finally be in a place where all races could come, and it still wasn't good. Even when integration happened, it still were problems. It was like the car that still had kinks. They don't make it no more. That's why today, when you have people that are in office and politics and politicians, they're making it so comfortable to show how comfortable they are with being racist. And it's going back to the history again, that's circling back around, that it's like, okay, now y'all doing it again, the blackface. But again, back to our culture. Are we strong enough to throw all the stuff away from the designers who don't want us in it in the first place? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to brush that under the rug like it's nothing, and that's how we deal with people that we date. Now, as far as for the generation underneath us, which are millennials, they on a whole nother flip side of their acceptance.
I think that is because they have more exposure. They see it on social media, they see it every day, it's right there. So you become kind of neutral, like, oh, it's nothing, that's what we see. Like before, and that's why when people like my mother, like people with like 65 and over, they went through them times of that hurt and pain. So they're the ones that are less tolerable as far as dealing with it. So usually people, as you get younger, they say, well, we see it more, so it's nothing. It's a common thing to see this going on. So we're just confused. It's a hot mess.
It's a hot mess for people who don't understand how to unconfuse themselves. If they want to live in confusion, then that's fine. But obviously, it don't take a lot to recognize what's real. So let me ask you, when you were saying your mother is in that generation, 65 and over, your relationship that was in the dark, was that one that would have broke her heart if you brought it to the light?
Say, for example, if I'd have brought someone over, Caucasian, for Thanksgiving, there would have been some ridicule. There would have been something. There would have been, My sister, my aunt, they would have had a lot to say.
Okay.
So therefore, some black men say, I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke, so I'm going to continue. We're going to do what we're doing. Aren't you happy? And she'll say, yes. And we just go about our business. But when you start equating family into the equation, you already know. When you think of black family, eating, drinks, somebody's going to say something out of pocket. And either you stick to your family or you cover down on your woman. So most guys say, I don't even want that heat.
So this was something that you wasn't even really trying to get with like that and anyway, from Jump Street.
Not really, because I know I wasn't ready for it. I didn't want that smoke.
Okay.
Usually I want all the smoke, but I didn't want that smoke.
You didn't want that at all. Okay, gotcha. So back to as far as within our generation, of Generation X. We are, well, I am in Generation X, where again, we try to keep our values strong from what we were taught. And it's been things because growing up in the 80s of what we saw a lot of rock bands, we saw the big hair, we saw like what was being on TV as far as the actresses and more actors. We had the crush on the white boys. I know I'm talking to a lot of other black girls out there. So don't act like, okay,
NSYNC.
Oh, NSYNC. What?
Backstreet Boys.
Okay, they were, yeah. They were, no, that's not, no, that's millennial, that's their generation, that's the millennial king, whatever, I don't know, he's not king of nothing, actually. But, you know, this is what we were given, and we fought so hard to just be like, just have that crush on them. But, you know, in a sense, we did have some natural attraction to them. We could not help that because of what we were seeing. And then depending on the schools that we went to and the people we grew up around, I lived in an area that was predominantly, like a majority of people around me were Caucasian or Asian. That's who I went to school with. Like, blacks started trickling into Seattle like later on. Like, oh, you know, you got excited. Like, hey, welcome. Hey, man, let me tell you, take you around, show you where we hang out, you know. But it was just like, it was so special to see that the city and the state itself was starting to build with more of our people living there. But again, I saw a lot in school. A lot of the black guys that I did go to school with, they weren't dating us. They were dating Asian girls. They were dating the white girls. And it was making our black girls in school like, what the what? So now, where are we supposed to go with this? Because we have ones who, again, don't believe in wanting anything else but a black guy.
Well, I think what some of that has to deal with, because the high school I went to was predominantly white. The college I went to was predominantly white. Some of the guys felt it was about that era, you know, also show and tell.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm driving somebody's vehicle.
Right.
Because you're catching the yellow bus. Mandy is coming to pick me up, and I'm jumping in the driver's seat.
You said Mandy, that's funny.
So it looks good.
Okay.
It looks good on my resume.
That looks good on your resume.
Wow.
For myself. Because a lot of times people
Not your
do stuff
friends?
to build stuff up.
Because people do things for their friends.
Yeah,
you know, for them to be jealous and to admire, oh yeah, look at him, oh yeah, he's doing it now. But why does that classify to say that you're doing it because Mandy is not black?
Not too many Mandys that are black had vehicles or whatever. Right along with me. So therefore, you want to make things easier for you in the life, because remember also that
it was easier for us.
sometimes growing up, your parents might have not had a car, a vehicle. So everything was a struggle. So you got somebody like, oh, I can take you to work, I'll pick you up.
But our strength comes from the struggle.
Yeah. That's what they say, but not most people, a lot of people want to travel to have the
It makes us stronger. And we
Sometimes
appreciate what we finally get.
Sometimes you want to stop fighting. You want something to come easy.
You were in school. It didn't need to be easy. You
I was on the yellow bus, so that wasn't my issue. But I knew that some guys. Prime example, when I was made a post, one of my friends had chimed in and she had said, remember we was in college, why did some of those basketball players, they talk to the Caucasian women? Those were the ones who had the cars, they had the bank account, that when you were hungry in your meal plan, you ate at 5 o'clock, and you were a growing person, and you're supposed to get through the rest of the night without something to eat. Well, Mandy would go swipe her card to pull something out. I'm just saying, this is why some guys take that route.
I understand.
Whether you want to hear it or not, this is the truth.
To use and abuse Mandy. Basically, that is what it is.
They deserve it.
To use it,
There's
really?
reparations.
Oh, wow.
That's why it was in college. Mandy let you drive her BMW.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
And wash your dirty clothes.
Wow. Because you knew she would serve you well.
But you brought me
More than.
Oh, she served you all right.
Yeah.
You brought me home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mika, being that Mika was the one that was brought home for Thanksgiving, was the facade to what your little dirty, nasty, little scoundrel little life was Mandy. And yeah, and eating off of Mandy's meal plan, like debit card, because of the simple fact that you felt like you were superior to that. You got everything you wanted. You got everything you wanted from someone who didn't give you any type of fight. And Mika, she would make you earn it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got that. Hold on, Michael. We're going to take a pause for the cause, and we will be back. Oh, yeah, we're coming back in Thunderous Altercations. Hey, we're back. It is Thunderous Altercation. I am your girl, Kay Rene.
And I'm David Lorenzo Glover, a.k.a.
Oh, Jesus,
the
why?
controversial counselor, a.k.a. the Big Revenge.
Oh, you
How
know
are
the
you?
middle
Hey,
name.
good gracious.
I didn't know we was doing government names.
Yeah.
The whole government, Social Security name.
Oh, you're just coming back with
His
something.
nickname.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
What's the problem? What's the
See,
problem?
Mandy wouldn't care about none of that.
Yeah, because y'all
What?
know who your name is. That's my name.
Okay, listen.
Why am I hiding my government name?
You would hide your Facebook and everything on so you wouldn't let nobody
Get the secret number.
Oh, it's a setup. Oh, let me get low. No, she can't come over here. Oh, that's why. You know? I guess that's that Gemini flip-flop personality. You one or the other. Who we got today? I see what we got today.
But I was full of
Team
thought.
Mandy.
Yeah, to go back to that point in college. I remember my grandmother worked in the cafeteria at the college I went to. And she used to, hook me up. She almost sent when I needed money, and she would give me money. But, and I was dating, that's not her name, but Keisha. And my grandmother would say, here's $40 for you, whatever. And that was back in the late 80s, early 90s. Make sure that you share your money with her. So if I got 40, I had to give her 20. And I'm like, but I knew that she would go back and ask her. But Mandy probably was going to double up with that. I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Wow.
So,
See, all
I'm
you're
just
doing is
saying.
exploiting like with the Mandys have more money than we
You
do.
got money.
And they got enough money for you.
I'm just speaking on why some people
I already
make
see
their
what kind of
choices.
come up you trying to get. You trying to
No.
be real comfortable and still invest your own money on what you want to do. And again, because Mandy, she gonna make sure that everything is good. Isn't
So will
that
this.
right? Yes, it is. It is. That's true. But listen, because this is what I want to get into right now. Fetish or admiration? Like, is it a thing that when people deal with interracial relationships, or they decide to build within an interracial relationship, is it something that they admire within the culture? Or is it a fetish? Because we go off of hearsay. Like I've heard men tell other men, like, you should be with an Asian because they're very submissive. Or if you deal with a white girl, then, you know, she'll pretty much let you do anything as well. You know, they never bring the black woman in as if like, you know, you got only 3 options for what you're going to get out of that whole experience. A, B, or C. When everybody else is running all the way down to Z. Or you should get like a Hispanic girl. Or, you know, like, because it's always been the stereotypes. Even not just for women, but for men too. Oh, don't ever deal with a Caucasian man because he's not working with a lot. Or, you know, if you deal with black men, you know that they have this to offer, you know, or an Italian, or, you know, so it's all these different stereotypes. And when stereotypes start to circulate around, it starts to make people a little more intrigued. As opposed to a lot of other people who do admire other people's cultures and want to learn from their culture. And then they decide to maybe even take it a step further and date into that race to get more of a better understanding and background of that culture. So, what do you think?
My thing is, I don't know if most people want to get to know their culture. I think circumstances cause them, and opportunities cause them to deal with other races. Of course, you hear the myths about certain things, and it may resonate in your head and say, man, I wonder what's that like. And you might get curious, and if an opportunity presents itself, you go for it. But I don't know how many black men would say, there go Young Kim. Let me approach her, let me step to her because I want to know about the Asian culture. Once I know about it, what am I going to do with that information? I was just saying, what am I going to do with that information?
What are you going to do with that information?
Yeah, once I know about it.
I mean, what if you go
more than
visit
likely
the
I'm not the
country?
one that's China or Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, well,
You're not taking
why
that
not?
Kim.
Yeah, if you're a person that likes to travel, that might be the person you travel with. No?
That could be, it's probably a small percentage of people that go that route. For the most, it's an opportunity that opened up and presented itself.
So when you was dealing with Mandy,
Why do you keep focusing on me and me?
because you have a lot to give Mandy credit for. That's why I'm focused on you and Mandy, because Mandy got a lot of accolades, obviously, with you. So let's go back to Mandy. When you was dealing with Mandy, was it a thing that you wanted to learn about her culture, or you already knew enough of what you already knew about the culture, and you decided to take that in a fetish and also in a use? Because you used Mandy. You didn't want Mandy. That's why she was in the closet. You hid her from your mother. You brought somebody else in the facade to play a different part. Mandy could not come. Mandy was your secret lover. Mandy stayed in the dark. So let's go back. Was Mandy for admiration, or was she a fetish that you had? What did Mandy do?
Like I said, it was an opportunity that came along. It was a work experience, late nights at work, things jump off.
Late nights at work. Things jump off. Late nights at work. Okay, where did you work?
I'm not going to put all that information out there and expose the company.
Oh, okay.
You still getting checks from them, baby.
Even I
You
still
don't
work
need to go
there.
back to the job.
Okay, all right.
So what I'm basically trying to
Oh, so
say
you
is,
worked with Mandy.
yeah, that's
Oh, so the
what I'm
plot thickens now. So Mandy was basically already there.
Yeah.
Okay. She was already
I
plotting.
hope Mandy
But
was.
no, you know that most affairs happen at work. Work relationships, a great deal of them.
Not necessarily.
Man, where else you gonna meet these people at?
Uh,
At the grocery store.
Well, I was just about to say that.
No.
The
Most affairs and things happen at work.
You know, shit. When you
That's not necessarily true.
I understand that philosophy.
True.
But most of them, that's where it happened at.
Okay, I beg to differ. I don't think so.
So where would you meet them at? At the park?
Listen, all of my past relationships I've met at a store.
At a store?
Yes, I have. Yeah, what was wrong
So
with
some
that?
random person just came up to you and started talking to you, and you said,
And you was like, okay.
and you go into it?
No, I'm really an aggressive type of person, so I actually approached
So
them.
you see her, oh, those some nice jeans you guys, you push in the car. What's your name? Make me understand this.
First of all, they were working there, okay?
What?
Yes, they were working.
They had a job.
You dated the butcher?
No, I did not. No, I did not date the butcher. But I made a compliment, okay? And
I'm not mad at the butcher.
With my compliment, it brought on another.
The butcher bought a couple pairs of Pampers.
Hold up. And I'm not trying to downrate anybody that works in that line of things. So you made a compliment. So he had his smock on.
It
And what
wasn't
did
a
you
smock.
say? You're very
First of
good
all,
at
that's-
putting in, you're kind of fast swiping or whatever. So what compliment did you give him?
Well, that's a downgrade because first and foremost, they didn't have no smock on, okay? They wasn't that type of worker, all right? They were running things there. Get that right, okay? Secondly, I made a compliment. Third, it sparked a conversation.
What was the compliment?
The compliment was, I like your locks. They're really nice. Yeah. All that needed to be said for me to
Then he
get.
had his hair pinned up in a little...
Oh, you're trying to put me at the fast food place.
No,
You told me out the store, now you just told me, okay, now there's a net over the hair to protect it. You are so wrong today. I don't like you.
I'm like, you wrong.
Yeah, anywho.
But the reason why I came back is you kept focusing on Mandy.
Well, I had to find out, I guess, as far as the basis behind Mandy and where she basically came from. So I really wanted to just basically understand Mandy. Now, again, a fetish. Some people have a fetish, you know. There are all types of different fetishes. There are people that have a foot fetish. There are people that have, you know, as far as long hair. You know, there's a pretty eye fetish. Whatever the case may be, they have this fetish. And it's something that either can be kind of cool or a little weird to people. And some people have a fetish with just really hooking up with people out of their race because it's just this adrenaline rush for them with a one-night stand situation. Because I think that's how some people who do not want to commit to an interracial relationship will do what they need to do to just get some type of temporary relationship. So you will. Meaning that there's a hookup there, or this is now somebody that I can keep under a certain category of other people, so I can call them and basically do whatever, or we can do whatever.
In our day and time when they had, when the movie Jungle Fever was out, and that was the phrase that people were using, and there was Wesley Snipes and I don't know her name. They kind of hooked up that way. Yeah, my name. Universal name. But that kind of, like you said, sometimes it was just maybe a fetish, an opportunity that people jump on. Because I can say for myself, I don't know how many people that I would approach that's not my color. I might have a different tactic or a way that I approach them.
Right.
I can't approach an Asian woman with my same style. Because first of all, I'm like, she even understand what I'm saying, or no, I mean, not being like that, but she may not. Some of them just came over here. Some of them just came over.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, you see, people take stuff and run with it like the wrong way, but sometimes you don't know.
Came over here.
You don't know. So, there's people. See, when you work in the school system, you understand.
You put the school system.
When you understand kids that you say, how long you been here? And it's like, I got here 2-3 weeks ago. Some people just came over to this country. So sometimes you have to say, well, I don't even know if I can approach them this way. But if you're working with them, you kind of already know. You already filled them out. You already know what they know. That's what I mean by that. I'm no type of racist, bigot, or whatever the case is. But I deal with reality, and that's what it is. Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand, you know, you just don't know. But is there a preference that you honestly that you have?
I'm gonna go with my black woman, whatever. Somebody looks like my mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, whatever. That's naturally my attraction gonna be to it.
Yeah, because we have all shades of our race, and that's because we are mixed and have all bloodlines running through us, which is something a lot of people can't do. And I mean, again, if that's your preference, because of the times that we're living in today, would you be a little more acceptable to dating out of your race? or are you keen to staying strong with wanting to date within? And do you have a complex with color?
I don't have a complex with color.
You don't prefer a certain complexion over another?
No, because even within, in my dating experience, I had some darker skin men, I had some, medium range brown and light skin, so it doesn't matter. At that point, it's about the heart. Or somebody who's willing to find out what makes me tick and we work together and grow as a couple, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, people have different features and different things that make you want to be around them.
Yeah.
I don't look at it like that.
I get that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think when people are in interracial relationships, it's really not black or white. And it's not really is that they're actually trying to solve or resolve any type of issues dealing with racism. Some people are just where they are, but then when there are people that have to continuously bring it up and speak about the fact like, oh, my wife is black, or, like I don't have any racist bone in my body. When you have to acknowledge or you have to announce that, then it is very suspect, and you tend to question that. Like, if you're comfortable of what you're doing and who you're with, then be comfortable with that. We don't have to say anything extra or no added 2 cents. Just be who you are and stick to what it is you're doing, which is loving the person that you're with. Regardless of color, you should never have to put something on it as a stamp with color. But I honestly think that if you like a person and they like you, you have to be ready to deal with the fight of differences. And the differences that you're going to get from family. Family are going to be the worst critic. Again, they're going to be the ones that's going to be calling you when you're not with your people and with them, asking you why, what is it, what do you want from this, and then are you sure, do you remember when, and they have all these stories of examples to bring up to you, like don't forget, and you have to then convince them too, like I haven't forgotten who I am, but I'm trying to be me. And I'm trying to also set an example, because I think a lot of people try to set an example to other people when they are dealing with somebody that's outside of their race. They're just really trying to, and give them the background, or I guess maybe, the knowledge of that this can be done and we can be good together and we can live and stand within all the chaos around us.
And you know what, and sometimes I think when you think about family, they might look at, is my son or are they doing better? Do they seem like their life is fulfilled with this person? If this person is making them a better person, then I'm going to kind of back off on it. But then again, you said families could be the worst. When you have people, I just talked to one of my friends prior to this about this whole promotion to the show, and it's like, are you as a black man ready to have macaroni and cheese as your full meal? And that's it. Or potato salad or something with two.
Hey, it's Thunderous Altercations, and we're about to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you were able to tune in live with us on WPB Media Networks. And again, we were talking about interracial relationships. So my final thought is this. Basically, I want you to, of course, date who you want to date. And it should have nothing to do with color. I just, again, know that everyone has a preference, and it is okay to have your own preference. I just think that you should at least have more knowledge within anything when it comes to different cultures to make sure that you'll be able to be comfortable, and if it is something that you strive to be a part of and to be in, to make it work, then make sure that you do the necessary in order to keep it strong. David?
Probably, I think we agree upon something that I do think that's the case, that you, whatever your goals is in a relationship, and that person can make it happen and y'all can kind of intertwine and grow together, then that's what you should be with. No matter what anyone says, mother, father, brothers, sisters, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. and you have to find happiness within yourself.
That's right. They said it's our life, and they want us to be happy in our lives. So that's exactly what you need to choose to do. That's what we want you to do, is to be happy in your life. Hey, you can reach me on Instagram at _K_Rene Show. That's RENE Show, and also on Facebook as Kelly Rene, RENE. And David, where are you?
Facebook, David Louisa Glover. And pretty much Instagram, the same thing. Or put in controversial counselor, counselor's corner, I'll pop up.
All right now. Hey, join us next week for another Thunderous Altercation episode. I'm your girl signing off. Happy Saturday and enjoy your weekend. Bye.